Now, Ghana's President Nana Akufo-Addo has extended the ban on public gatherings by 2 more weeks to contain the spread of the coronavirus. Last week, the president lifted a 3-week lockdown that had been imposed on various parts of the country. Schools and borders remain closed, and the president has urged all Muslims to pray at home during the month of Ramadan. Ghana's Ministry of Health has also issued a directive for Ghanaians to wear masks in public places. The country has confirmed 1,550 coronavirus cases and 11 deaths. Some 155 patients have recovered from COVID-19. Joining us now for more on this is Joy News TV correspondent Kojo Yankson. Kojo, this extension isn't an extension to the lockdown that was lifted in the country last week, but rather one on public gatherings, right? But what is the difference here? Help us understand what Ghanaians are allowed to do.
So, to make it easier to understand, about 3 weeks ago when the lockdown was announced, it was in essence instructing every Ghanaian to stay at home unless they were essential workers. Essential workers were defined and they were the only ones allowed to leave home. The lockdown has been lifted. However, some of the measures that were in place even before the lockdown was put in place remain as they were. For example, our borders remain closed. Also, there is a ban on public gatherings. The only exception is that if you are doing a private burial, you can have up to 25 people present. Beyond that, all other public gatherings are banned. Also, the president has introduced the legal requirement to wear a face mask when you are out in public. So that is the difference. Some of the measures that were in place before remain as they were, but the lockdown, the ban on movement unless you were an essential worker, that has been lifted.
Yeah, you know, last week the president lifted the lockdown, citing enhanced testing. Just give us an idea of how many tests have been conducted in the country now.
Now, one of the purposes of the lockdown was for the Ghana Health Service to undergo what they described as enhanced contact tracing. They wanted to trace back the contacts of all people who had entered the country from the beginning of March, as well as all those who had tested positive. There were 59 cases at the time. So all of the contacts for those 59 cases were traced, as well as all those who had entered the country from the beginning of March. This enhanced contact tracing yielded a total of about 68,000 contacts. They were all tested. And in fact, as we speak, that number has increased. The 3 testing sites in Ghana have tested so far over 100,000 contacts. And as a result, we have 1,550 positive cases.
Well, and finally, Kojo, just before I let you go, just bring us up to speed on the situation of the cases in the country. Have there been any more recoveries from last week?
Yes, there have. In fact, the number has been updated. Currently, we have 155 full recoveries. Sadly, we have 11 deaths. Now, the thing about what constitutes a recovery here in Ghana is that you would have to test negative twice after having tested positive. So once you test negative the second time, you are then added to the number of recovered cases. So as we speak, there are probably another 100 or so who have tested negative once. They are awaiting their second negative test, and then they will be added to the numbers. But currently, those who have tested negative twice are a total of 155.
All right, then, Kojo Yankson, Joy News TV correspondent, thank you so much for bringing us up to speed on the situation in the country.
Thank you.